So I put them in my own tube just to hold on to them before I put them in flips and stuff. But here we go, and there they are, the 10 Ikes that I purchased. Now, um, I was walking into the store. I walked in the store and I was looking for a number of different things, but I noticed that there was a bin with raw Ikes in it, and so I said, "How much are they?" And he said $1.25, which is that's pretty good. Um, so I went through the Ikes that were there in the bin, and I just sort of pulled out uh, ones that looked a little bit better quality, and ones that were possible varieties. I didn't have loops with me, so for $1.25, I'm not gonna sit there and loop cherry pick at a coin dealer's shop. Not gonna do that. So I just sort of picked out 71Ds. There's a 72, which my eyes couldn't tell what, is it a type 1, type 2, type 3 reverse, and I couldn't identify varieties and so forth. But I picked out ones that were a little bit better in terms of what they look like and so forth. And I did pick out one. I don't know if you can tell. They're all clad, copper nickel clad. But if you look at your far left and you go, where is the copper sandwich? Well, this one here is plated. So I picked it out because I have a couple of tubes of plated Ikes, and this one will go in that tube. Doesn't add any value, and just, but I wanted it. It's sort of stuck out, and so I got that, and then I got a 72, and the rest are all 71Ds because 71Ds have RPMs, they have peg legs, they have reverse design varieties, etc. And I just purchased them without looking at them, other than to pick out some of the better looking ones, grade wise. And I waited until I got home to sort of look at them with the loops, and I was pretty amazed with what I found. Let's take a look under the scope. So, as I mentioned, I picked up one 1972. It's not great. You can see it's scratched. So this one's just going to go into a tube. It is a 1972 Type 1 reverse. So you look at the islands, the Earth islands, and you can see there's 3 islands, nothing extending west of the tip of Florida. That is a Type 1 reverse for 1972. The Type 2 is Incus Islands that look like a same as a 1971 proof reverse. And the Type 3 is a like mega islands that do extend west of the tip of Florida into the Gulf. This one here I got just because it was a 72, and I think it was the only 72 Philadelphia mint in there. And it turns out it's 72 Type 1, and there's some good varieties here. This one does not have it, and it also has the scratch, as you can see. I also, the rest of them were all 1971Ds. And I mentioned there's one that I got that was plated, and it's hard to see unless I try to focus here. Yeah, this This one doesn't show the copper core that well on the through the reeds, but it is plated. And this one here is a 71D, no peg leg, no double die obverse, no RPM, and it is a 71D. The second reverse used at the Denver Mint in 71, but it's called a Type 1 reverse because it has the same 3 islands, nothing extending west of the tip of Florida. Go focus on it for you. So it's classified as a Type 1 reverse, but it's the second reverse die variety used in Denver in 71. Now, also note that look at the Gulf there, and you can see that there's actually a convexity where Louisiana, Texas, etc., come down into the Gulf. So 3 islands, nothing extending west of Florida, and that convexity in the Gulf. All right, so those are some key features here for that second reverse, the Type 1 reverse. Also, if you look at this crater here just above the L, and you look at the crater lines are right here. I'm not touching the coin. They don't extend down to the L. All right. So look at those crater lines, and then look here, and that's a standard Type 1 reverse, which was the second reverse die variety used in Denver in 1971. All right, so the others that I have were all the same. No peg legs, no RPMs, no double dies, and you can see the 3 islands, convexity into the Gulf, and the die flow lines, or the crater flow lines don't extend down to that second L in dollar. All right, so I'm not going to go through every one of them, but there were 4 of those. So 172 Type 2 reverse, 4 71Ds Type 2 reverse, and I was, going through the 71Ds, and then I get this. So no peg leg, no double die, no RPMs, I think. I'm going to come back to this coin. But there's 71Ds, but I flip it over and I was pretty amazed that this is Friendly Eagle. So there is a concavity of the Gulf. The islands, now this is a lake die state, but the islands are like more of a 4 islands, mega islands down there. There's not the 3 distinct islands. And you come down here and you can see die flow, or the crater flow lines on that second L come all the way to the top right of that L. All right. The other thing, this is called a Friendly Eagle. So if I go back and maybe I get one of the earlier die states of the Type 1 reverse, see the furrow in the eagle's brow? That was added by Mr. Gasparo. And so that's the more standard, more fierce looking eagle. Whereas the Friendly Eagle does not have that furrow. All right, so that's one reason why it's called the friendly eagle, of course, but then I find it easier to look at the Earth, the islands, see like 4 islands, not 3, and that diflow line. So there's not 1, but 5 of the 10 coins, this is the second one, 5 of the second coins were friendly eagles. Now, the other thing about a friendly eagle that you can sometimes see without in an earlier die state is you look in the just above the northwest side of North America, just above the Earth, there is a increased feature that looks like a V pointing to the left, which is iGroup calls it a re-entry vehicle. That was added by Frank Gasparo as well. So you can see the islands are different here in this one. Once again, different islands, 4 islands, not 3 distinct islands. Doesn't have that big convexity pointing down into the Gulf like this one. All right. So this one here is the more traditional. All right. This one here is the second of the friendly eagles. And you look down here, the diflow lines, there it is, second L. And this is the third. Again, pretty easy to see there. You also see that increase feature just above on the upper left. There's a pretty good view of it there, just above, just floating just above the Earth, northwest, North America. There it is. And then the diflow lines down here, all the way down. That's number 3. Number 4. There it is. There's the increased feature. This is a little bit earlier die state than the others so far. And you can see that right there's a really good picture of it. I said it's pointing to the left, is pointing up to the right. See it? There's 4 islands, round Gulf. There's not nearly to the degree of convexity into the Gulf from Louisiana. And then the crater flow lines coming all the way down to the L. All right. This one is number 4 and then number 5. So 5 out of the 10 coins that I pulled from that bin were Friendly Eagle variety. And so I was amazed because you don't normally find these in Ike bins. And 5 out of 10, somebody did a collection dump, I'm pretty sure, because they don't come with that regularity. They started production with this reverse die. I believe there were 8 dies from my own die studies, maybe more, but 8 dies. And so the thing to understand is that back in 71, and this is from Mint Records, they knew that the average die life of the reverse die was 120,000. So that it was 8 dies, and it's about 100 and about 960,000 Friendly Eagles were produced, and we don't know exactly because they didn't enumerate these separately. They're all folded into the total 71D mintage, which was 68.6 million, just about 68.6 million. All right, so maybe 1/68 of the 71D production is Friendly Eagles. Not 5 out of 10 or 5 out of 9 actually, because one of those were 72. So there you go. You can't really see that increase, maybe a little remnant, but this is a late die state. You can tell by the die flow lines there how coarse they are. And then but you can't tell that the crater flow line next to L goes all the way down to that upper right-hand side of the L. So 5 of these guys, out of 10 coins pulled, and 9 of those 10 were, I knew they were 71Ds. Let me go back to this one. Now, a Friendly Eagle, they have a nice double die obverse, double die reverse. They've got a peg leg. They've got 4 different RPMs for the 71D Friendly Eagles. So there are a lot of varieties for the 71D Friendly Eagle. Oh, by the way, I paid $1.25. Typically, depending on the grade, a Friendly Eagle goes about anywhere from 2x to 5x the price of a 71D at same grade with a standard type 1 reverse. So right there, we're talking, what, $4, $4 to at least $3 for each one of these 5. So, for $2.50 above face, I was able to get 5 of these guys. And let's see. There's one that was curious looking. It's this one right here. All right. So I checked this against my other known repunchment marks. This one I think is just damage, I think. You can see that it's damaged down here in the lower right. Let me get that focused just. Bring that in a little bit more. Sorry about that. You can see the die state there just by the die flow lines. All right, so there's a little bit closer look. And a little focus. So there's some damage here on the lower right, but we can see that up in the top there is a little indentation. If I get the light right, it looks almost like tripling. So I haven't matched this to any of my known repunchment marks from the FEV, the Friendly Eagle variety. But this one here, I think is probably damaged, but just the nature of it, where it looks almost tripled in places, gives me a question mark. So nevertheless, it was fun to find 5 FEVs for $1.25 each, amongst other coins. And I'm glad to share it with you as well. It's just, you don't find 5, pick 10, pick 9 71Ds, and you come up with 5 Friendly Eagle varieties. All right, so thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time. Remember, Be smart about what you buy. Buy stuff you like, but be smart about what you buy. Bye-bye.